which is it's nuts. But then you go like Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based like in Travis, Texas, which is
I went out to the boonies, and I'm telling you,
scary.
it's not the same. Like I went out to the boonies, and I was in the wealthier side, but we went through these like rural towns to get there.
What are you doing here, boy?
Yeah, no, I didn't feel comfortable, but I just put my little fucking smile and like, hey, I'm a good bean. It's okay.
I'm one of y'all.
Yeah. So that's the culture, quite a little bit of a culture shock. It's cool. I like Dallas. Couldn't live there. But I appreciate the people. I appreciate the hospitality. Downtown Dallas is pretty badass, and we did a lot of fucking fun shit and just a little bit of ratchet shit, but mostly just good, wholesome fun. So, weeks before we were in Arizona, and we landed in Flagstaff, and we basically did Flagstaff because you have snowboarding up there, and it was like towards the end of the season, so we wanted to fucking do that, and that was me and my son had a blast, and that was cool. And then Sedona's only like an hour south of there. And if you haven't done Sedona, like that's just the fucking place probably the best place in all of Arizona. It is just fucking gorgeous, all kinds of good energy and all shit, right? But anyways, we're in Flagstaff, right? So I have an off-road car. And so we're out there doing ratchet shit, right? First day. And I planned out everything, right? Like if you ever vacation with me, fucking itinerary, right? We're going to do this and we're going to fucking do that. And listen, I always leave some room for spontaneous shit. But every fucking day there is you're going to do this, and then you're going to suck my cock, and then you're going to do this, and you're going to do that, right? So
it's in the schedule.
It's in the fucking schedule, right? So we hit up this volcano. I forgot what the fuck it's called, but it's just east of Flagstaff, right? Only like 20 minutes north of the city. So we get to this, these older volcanoes, and one of them's still active, and it's like a fucking cool thing, right? So.
That's wild that there's snow and lava in Arizona.
There is, right? So there, so the snow is northwest, right? Those mountains, and northeast are all the volcanoes. And so, we did the, in the mountain from downtown Flagstaff is only like 20 minutes up. It's just you're already at 7,000 feet of elevation in Flagstaff. By the way, it snowed one of the days where we were. But if you just go up a little bit to, like 12,000 feet, that's where they have, it's called Snowball, and that's like their fucking, their big snow facility, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways,
it's their Big Bear.
It's their Big Bear. Yeah. So it's fucking cool, right? So anyways, so we go to Volcano, right? And it's fucking crazy. I've off-roaded for a bit, right? All kinds of different terrains, but this shit is different. Think about like, it's not quite as thin as sand. It's just it's like bigger crumbles rocks, right? It's all the ash, right? All the little tiny rocks that basically were left on the side of the volcano, right? And that's what you're driving on. It's fucking scary because if you don't have a head start, you just sink in and you just get stuck on this fucking horrible terrain, right? It's scary as shit, right? So I tried going up this like side of the volcano, right? And this is like the easiest way up. So I try the first time, I fail, I start sliding to the left, and I'm like, fuck, man. So I come down, and then I regroup, right? And when I regroup, I see this guy in this beat up ass Xterra, right? Just old. He's got to be like a 95, right? And I stop. We're taking pictures because it's like fucking beautiful. This white dude gets out, right? And you can tell, like, fucking crackhead, right? He's got no teeth. He is he just looks like he's gone through some shit, right?
You can smell the crack on him.
Oh, I could look at the crack on him. I could smell it on you. I know you're a crackhead, right? So I start talking to him, right? And anybody in the off-road community knows, like, you meet somebody off-road, you're in the middle of nowhere, like, you are instantly friends. Like, you need friends out there, right? There is nobody there. So me and him chop it up. He's a local. I'm like, hey, we're from California. He's intrigued. So he's like, cool, I'm going to go up this hill. So I see him do it, and I'm like, this cocksucker, he just goes right up it, like, no problem. By the way, this fucking Xterra sucked.
I was about to say, he's in a beat up Xterra.
He's in a beat up Xterra, and he's got like no tread on the tires.
You just explained how you need to approach this shit the right way.
It's exactly what he did. So I saw him do it. I'm like, oh. So then I followed his track, and I just went right up. right? No problem. I was like, oh, fuck, man. I feel like a pussy, right? So anyways, I go. And so what you're doing essentially, right, is and this is a giant, guys, like, this is a big ass volcano. To older, inactive.
What's the name of it? So in case people look it up.
I'm going to look it up and I'm going to give it to you guys right now, right? But it's like a national park, right? It's a big fucking deal, right? So we're circling this volcano, right? And we're literally on the rim of the volcano. And there's no like rough rock. It's all just this like black sandy shit, right? So we're driving on it and you can't really stop because if you stop, you can sink in and get stuck. So there's always this, whenever you stop, you make sure you're on an incline so you can just keep going and, you're always safe, right? So we stop and take a couple pictures, right? This guy, Scott, that's his name. Scott just takes off and he's just doing his fucking thing, right? So we go around the rim and I get to a point where I'm like, okay, we've had enough fun on this fucking volcano. We've taken all the pictures. I've gotten to know it. I want to go down. Now, you could go back and just turn around on the rim, which is a little sketchy, but you can do it and turn around and go back the way you came, which is the safest way. But nobody fucking does that. You're a pussy if you do that, right?
Yeah.
So we said, let's just go down the side of the volcano. And this is the fucking sketchiest part because nobody goes up the side because it's way too steep. You don't have enough tread. You got to have like a real special car, like one of those like UTVs with special tires. You can't fucking go up this shit, right? It's just too steep. And I'm talking about like the grade's got to be like 15-20%. It is fucking steep, right? So, and then you got to picture this. You got this loose gravel and you got fucking snow, right? So there's like, multiple ways to go down the whole fucking side of the mountain, right? So I fucking pick a poison and I go down one of the sides. But here's the problem. The top of the fucking, the mountain has snow on it. So I pick an area where I can put my left tires on the fucking, loose rock and then my right tires on the snow. So we start fucking sliding. And so we go to the top and I just fucking pick my poison. I'm telling you, this is one of the scariest things I've ever fucking done in my life. I got my sisters with me. Their first time they're off-roading. And I'm instilling trust in these motherfuckers. And I'm telling them, listen, I do this all the time.
Yep.
But inside of me, I'm fucking afraid. I'm truly afraid. Because here's the thing. If I just turn a little bit sideways, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to flip all the way down. I make sure they have their seatbelt on and I'm fucking afraid. It's not a cheap car, And I'm like, fuck, man. Like, so anyways, I go down, right? I go past the snow and I go into a slide. Now I'm on the snow and I'm fucking sliding and the right side of my car is sliding to the right because it's my right tires are on the snow. So I'm fucking turning to the right and I'm kind of panicking. Because I know that if I keep sliding to the right, what's going to happen inevitably is that I'm going to go all the way to the right and I'm going to start flipping. So I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, you know what?
And you still can't show any like
no fear.
Yeah, no fear.
And now my fucking family is like holding on to the holy shit handles, right? And they're like, the car's fucking quiet, right? Dead fucking quiet. So I start sliding and what I do, I fucking gunned it. And I straightened out just a little bit, just enough. Now I'm going too fast. Okay. Now I'm past the snow because I made it past the snow. I gunned it past the snow. And now I'm locked. My brakes are fully locked and I am just sliding down the side of the mountain. And I must have slid for approximately 30 yards, right? So picture a football field, right? About 30 yards just down the hill. I am, like Buzz Lightyear, like controlled falling.
Right.
Fucking controlled falling. I'm falling.
And everybody in the car is just confident that you know what you're doing.
That I know what I'm doing. Because I'm fucking locked in. And then I started going to the right and I fucking gunned it. And I straightened out. And then, I did it again. And this fucking mountain just goes forever. It's like at any point on this motherfucking mountain, I am gonna die, right? And listen, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I'll post these pictures so you guys can see.
We're definitely clipping this and posting the pictures with the clip.
So I'm fucking sliding and I'm fucking going back and forth and I'm fucking like, God damn it, man, what the fuck am I gonna do, right? So finally, fuck, man, I get to a point where I'm like, I get to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm safe, okay? And I look at everybody and I say, no big deal. I do this all the time, right? The whole car goes, starts laughing, right? And we're good, right? So we get back on the main trail because we've been out here, it's just this like tons of area because this is like the final stop, right? Like even just getting there was fun. It took us an hour to get there, all off road. So think about this. That's the next thought I want you to think about. Just to get to this mount, to this volcano, took us about 45 minutes just to get to the top here. 45 minutes to an hour. So then you go down, and now I'm like, okay, we got a 45-minute drive back to the main road just to get out, right? So you're just in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I've probably seen like 5 people, including Scott, right? So we get to the bottom, we get on this like main, like artery, off-road artery, right? And that takes you to, the main road, which is 45 minutes out, right? So we start driving on this main road, and I see this fucking white boy. And I'm like, my sister's like, that's Scott. And Scott's carrying like a duffel bag and a big old box, right? And I'm like, what the fuck, right? So I drive up to him, I'm like, Scott, what's up, man? And I looked, and he looks at me like he's afraid. Like, he's this confident dude, like, and he's afraid. And he looks at the mountain, because now we're on the main road, but we're still going on the bottom side of the mountain, right? And the volcano. And he points up, and I see his car, and it's thrashed.
What? At the top?
Towards the bottom, but not quite at the bottom, but towards the bottom. And it's thrashed. I can see it, but
when
I can't
say thrash, like it's like it flipped.
Well, I can't see it, right? But what I see is Scott, and Scott's whole back is filled with blood. Fucking drenched in blood. And I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, Scott, like, you're bleeding. He's like, I know. He's like, I can't stop it. So, being the fucking good little off-roader that I am, I had a first aid kit.
Of course you did.
I had a first aid kit, and listen, this is not a trauma kit, which I learned through my homie, my tocayo, Odd Raul. Shout out to him. He put me up on game, and he said, look, you're going to get this, right? But I had some blood clotters, right? Which helped a lot. So I told him, I said, listen, we're going to wash off, made him take off his shirt.
Put some fucking coffee grains on it.
Yeah, right? So I told him, I said, listen, I'm gonna wash your hair out, and we need to find the hole on your head, because there's a hole in his fucking head, right? So he, being the fucking crackhead that he is, he gets his hand, and he just like, like when you're like you have sand in your hair,
yep,
and you like rub it off real fast.
No.
So he does one of those, and he goes, and he yells out, ah. And I look.
Why would you fucking?
He's a
do
fucking
that?
crackhead, right? So you know when you peel an orange, right?
No.
And you stick your first finger in there, and then the skin pops out.
No.
When I looked, he had 1/4 of an inch by a 1 to maybe like I would say like a conservatively like a 1 inch flap of his skin popping out.
Damn.
So I pour water on it, and I can see a solid piece of his fucking white skull, right? And now it's just, you can just see the blood coming out of the skin of the sides of the skin.
Holy
and it's just fucking
shit.
bleeding out, right? So I'm like,
He's lucky he didn't fracture his fucking skull.
so, and I don't know if he did, right? So I put my gloves on, right? And I'm fucking triage his ass, right? I put the fucking blood clot. It's not working. I put 2 or 3 on it.
Holy fuck, the blood clotter's not working?
Not fucking working, right? So I did my best. I bandaged him up, right? Now the blood is still dripping down the side of his head. He's like, got a monster headache. I had Tylenol, fucking gave him whatever he was, like fucking 2,000 milligrams of Tylenol. Fucking
Bro.
popped it, right? This whole time, my family's I'm treating this guy. My family goes up there to see the fucking car. They take pictures, and I'll post these pictures too.
Are your kids with you?
Kids are with my son's with me. My daughters didn't fly out till
I remember that.
she flew out mid
What's
trip.
your son's reaction to all this?
He's just watching me do my thing, and he comes down, and he knows not to.
Right,
We've gone through some crazy shit before, where he knows not to make the situation worse by like projecting his fucking fear and shit, right? So he's really cool as fuck, calm as fuck. My sisters are calm as fuck. We're trying to calm him down. At this point, it ain't even about us, because we're freaking the fuck out. This guy's bleeding the fuck out, and then after I bandage him up, he says, "Fuck, my hand hurts," and we look, and his fucking hand's dislocated.
It's like hanging off.
No, but you can see the bone popping out of his thing, right? And then his fingers are broken. And I'm like, fucking Scott, what happened? He says, this is what he tells me. He's like, look, and now I'm looking at the way he came down. The way he came down had a little bit bigger of a patch of snow. So he hits this patch of fucking snow. And remember, this guy had no tread on the tires. And there was no way that he was able to put one other tire on some, other shit. So he hits all snow, no tread. And he says, from the fucking, he's like, I